Today we're reviewing one of the biggest affiliate websites in the world, if not the biggest affiliate website in the world. My name is Eric Lantris, and today we are reviewing the Wirecutter. So if you haven't heard of the Wirecutter, it's an affiliate website, so where they recommend products to on absolutely everything, and they make a commission. They'll get a cut whenever they recommend something. So if you are doing affiliate marketing, if you're doing any marketing online, if you rank stuff on Google, you're going to want to see this. This is a in-depth. I'm going to show you the good. I'm going to show you the bad. I'm going to show how the Wirecutter could improve, because there's some places where they're lacking, and I'm going to show you some places where the Wirecutter is completely dominating. So you're going to learn a lot. I'm going to go and uncover. I'm going to do some stuff I've checked out before, and some stuff we're just going to check out together for the first time. You'll get my first impressions on that. And just so you know where we're at right now with the Wirecutter, if I look at their stats right now, and these are the third-party stats from Ahrefs. Let's put in the Wirecutter overview right here. They have about 1 million backlinks. They're estimating getting 5 million in traffic, but that's much. I'm sure they make a lot more because this is just like advertisement traffic. They're probably around 20, 40, 50, even 60 million. I don't know. If I look at organic search, they're an estimated about 3.6 million visitors a month, probably a lot more. This is just estimates from Ahrefs. This is not accurate, but this is all to say, hey, they are getting a lot of traffic that is worth a lot of money. So how are they doing it? How can you do it? Let's break in and dive into the Wirecutter. So I'm going to break this down at like all my reviews, homepage, category, products. Let's dive in right now. So when I land on the homepage, what is my first impressions? Well, seems to be relatively organized, seems to be okay. Wirecutter, New York Times company, that's okay. One thing I noticed is new look, same crew. This looks like a post-it note from Word 97, like Word from like 1997, or even Front Page 2003. Remember there was like a little post-it note with the, this is, I don't know, new look? This looks outdated. Anyways, apart from that, categories look okay. The light blue, it's not my favorite color, but sure, it works. One thing I do notice is going to be your title. The title of your page is what shows in Google. It's what people see. And here, all it says is Wirecutter, a New York Times company. Now, that doesn't tell me what the site is about. Like, Wirecutter is just like completely generic, New York Times company. This is like as if you had a movie actor. Like, let's say you had Nicolas Cage. So you would write Nicolas Cage, actor. Actually, no, it's even worse, because actor would actually describe what this website does. Wirecutter, a New York Times company, has absolutely no description of what this website does. You don't know. And on top of that, the homepage is where you should be describing what your company does or website is about. This is the optimal place to do it. So what I would write, instead of just Wirecutter, New York Times company, which means absolutely nothing, I would write reviews of the best gear on the internet, or reviews of products on the internet, reviews of tech, electronic, maybe your top categories. I would name it something relevant, right? So, or maybe something, the Wirecutter, the best reviews on the internet, or the best recommendations or breaking downs, consumer reviews of the internet. Something, give me something in the title. Not only is that going to help Google rank you for those terms, but also it tells your customers and your visitors what you're all about. So the title here, complete garbage. In fact, because no one no one cares you're New York Times company, and Wirecutter is your name, so you're gonna rank for it anyways. It's a complete waste of real estate and title space, because the title is one of the most important things when you come and rank on Google. So moving on, apart from that, when I'm looking at home pages, I'm looking at the structure. Is it easy to define what you're looking for? Is it easy to navigate? And is the Google juice going to flow in properly? And as I scroll through, yes, the Google juice is going to flow in well. It is well laid out. They have a really good structure. In fact, they have the categories here: electronic, kitchen and dining, health and fitness. Everything's well listed. Very nice categories, and they bring you down. This is also very good, where you have the category, you have subcategories listed here, so the Google juice could flow through, the users could flow through easily, and then after that you have a bit of text describing what's happening. So this is also very good. So far the structure of the homepage is excellent, and they're listing all their best categories. What most people do when they create affiliate websites is they either try to rank the homepage too much, and it's rare, these guys are actually not trying to rank the homepage at all, Or the alternative is they don't get the juice flowing through. The bigger a website gets, the more you have to focus on getting the juice to flow from the front page to the end. And these guys are doing an excellent job of getting the juice flowing through, because as I see, they're breaking down the categories. They have internal links to not only the big subcategories, but also then the direct product pages and also the categories. So they're doing excellent job. Let's take a look. The only thing that's a little crappy is their opt-in. Look at this. It says, never buy junk again. Is that something that's going to compel you to sign up? No. Sign up for a newsletter. No one wants to sign up for a newsletter and get new reviews each week. This is not something. This is horrible. In fact, this is one of the worst opt-ins I've ever seen. All right. What you would want to have as an opt-in, because you always want to collect emails whatever website you're running. You want to collect emails, collect user data so you can send them stuff, make a lot more money. You would want to have something more compelling. So something like the most underrated product of the year. What is the most underrated product that we have reviewed this year? Or enter your email to find out. Or the top 5 products you're going to want to buy this year. Or the 5 top underrated products you're going to want to get. Or even something, if you want to get commercial with it, we set up exclusive discounts with our top products. Enter your email to get exclusive discounts or something like that. You could even go with the sales angle. That would be better than never buy junk again. Am I gonna? Their opt-in rate, I'm sure, is absolute garbage, because this is the weakest opt-in link I've ever seen. Apart from that, the only way to make it worse would be sign up to our newsletter and that's it. That would probably be the only way to make it worse. Okay, so let's go to an actual category. Let's go to the first one I see, I guess. Electronics. All right, let's go to electronics. Electronics. Okay, when you land down in a category, the main goal of that category is to get you to wherever you want to go as quickly as possible. Once again, the first thing I notice, I'm going to go from the top, is the title. The title is garbage. Gadgets and electronics, reviews by Wirecutter. There's no reviews here, right? So there's no reviews on this category page. Why are you saying there's a review? Then it's by Wirecutter. We know you're just a Wirecutter company. And then you add a New York Times company again. Like this 99 or 90% of this title is completely useless. They're horrible with the titles. You should have gadgets and electronics, and then what you should write is the categories. You should write about your subcategories. So here we have gaming heads. You have audio. You have batteries. You have camera accessories, cameras. Write something that is relevant in the title rather than just saying your name again, saying reviews when there's no reviews, and then saying New York Times company, which is a really arbitrary thing to have in your title. Okay, so let's move on from the title and look at the actual content on the page. The first thing that people see, is this related to the category? No. Wirecutter supports our readers with thousands of hours of reporting. This is like boilerplate text. And the top text on Google is going to be the most important thing. The stuff that you write at the top, most important when ranking on Google, when talking to customers, when your visitors see. And this is complete generic garbage that we really don't care about. Instead, where the real content would start is here. Electronics, cool. This, they're doing a good job, from TV, receivers, headphones, speaker cameras, and so forth. What they could do is they could have internal links within this. This would actually start helping people to find whatever they want. Because let's say you land on this. Hypothetically, let's say you land on this page and you want to go to TVs because you're like, oh, well, I'm in electronics. I want to go to TVs. How do you get to TVs? Well, you can't click this. There's no TVs here. And then you got to scroll down. Holy crap. Okay, you got to scroll down all the way here to finally get to the TVs category. What they should have at the top is they should either have all their categories listed at the top, so you can just click on the actual subcategory you want to get to, because that's what people want to do, or have internal links at the very least right here. Then you don't even start with the main content. I assume the main content would be this, the accessories, the audio, but no. They have this bar right here. They have this deals we love in electronics. This basically is an ad. See, if this was Google AdWords right now, and this was in AdSense block, they would get penalized. There's legitimately a penalty in Google that if you put a big block of ads between like your title and the actual content, you get penalized. But Googlebot's not going to recognize this. Googlebot's not going to understand that this is ads or this is just like commercial advertisement. So they're never going to penalize them. But if they did, if this was AdSense, they would risk getting a penalty. Every single category page would risk getting a penalty. This is just to illustrate and tell you how much Google hates the fact that you're landing on a page and it's not giving you what you want. This is not what we want. And this whole part here, this is certainly not what we want. What we actually want, we want this title, we want this content, and then we want the actual, categories. Okay, so category pages, definitely a fail, not really good. But according to Google, this will be fine. I'll tell you why. Google doesn't know that this is kind of like advertisement stuff like here. Instead, Google is going to see this. They're going to see the title. They're going to see relevant words here. This won't help them, but it won't be that bad. And then Google is going to scroll down, and then kind of the Google juice is going to flow through all these categories. So it's going to flow here, flow here, flow here, flow here. It's going to flow through all the categories. And so from a Google perspective, this page is going to be okay. With the exception of this, which isn't great in a title. But from a user's perspective, this page is garbage. So Wirecutter does a lot of this, a lot of the time, where they're doing things for Google, and it works for Google, but the user experience, a real person consuming it, they're getting the shaft. This is not the ideal page, not an ideal category page for users. So the way it's going to hurt them is they won't convert as well. So people that come to this page won't necessarily find what they're looking for. They won't necessarily buy through their links, so they're losing money there. Okay, let's go to an actual product page and look at the first one here, the best gaming headsets. Let's check this out. And product pages are where people land. Sometimes they land directly from Google. This is what they see first. Okay, when you land on this, what do you see? Well, once again, you see this ugly thing at the top that no one cares about. When I land on here and I'm looking for the best gaming headsets, I don't want to read this. I want to start consuming, and I want you to start telling me about the best gaming headsets. The next big problem here is going to be the image. Look at this. It's a giant image. The image is so big that you can't start consuming the actual article. Everything is below the fold. So not only can I do I not want to read this, and this doesn't help your SEO either, because the first things you would want to have about a gaming headset review is words about gaming headsets, not about Wirecutter and the readers. But second, the content, you have to start scrolling down for the content to start consuming it. But it's even worse. Look, when you are over here, the only other thing you see is a title. Let's take a look at the title right now, because so far you've seen that I haven't been a big fan of their titles. The first, the way it's written, it says the best gaming headsets reviews by Wirecutter, a New York Times company. Now, they're doing some things that are good. They're doing some things that are bad, and let's just go over them. So the best gaming headsets, that's great. They have the keyword right at the front. It's very clear. And then what I like that they're doing is they have reviews by the Wirecutter. So they kind of have their brand name, but then they have the word reviews right after. It's a very clever way of ranking for gaming headset reviews or gaming headset review and also best gaming headsets. So it's a very clever way of writing it, where you rank, if someone types in gaming headset reviews or even just gaming headset review or even headset review, they're going to rank for it because it's right there, especially the way it's written. However, after that, this is where like things go awry. A New York Times company, why are you writing this? Why? This is like, imagine a prince. Let's take Prince Charles. That's the first one that comes to mind. And imagine he's walking around all over the place, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a prince. Hey, I'm a prince. By the way, did you know I was a prince? I'm from a royal family." No one cares. Why do you keep on repeating over and over and over that you're a New York Times company? It's great. I'm sure you're really proud of it. But like the fact that you're repeating it over and over, I'm assuming that they're doing it because they believe it's going to give them more social proof and more trust. But in fact, when you keep on repeating it like that, I start to trust it a lot less. It's not by what you say about yourself. It's about what you do. So this is going to be a reoccurring theme, by the way. They need to drop this, a New York Times company, at the end. Instead, what you would want to have is relevant words to this title. So gaming headsets, what do you expect to find with gaming headsets? I expect to find things like words like sound quality, comfort, and gaming headsets typically have a microphone, so maybe microphone. Those are the words I would expect to find inside the title, not just repeating your name, your company name over and over, and even a related company name. So the best gaming headsets, reviews by Wirecutter, which one has the best sound? That would be a better title than the best gaming headsets, reviews by Wirecutter, a New York Times company. Or even the best gaming headsets of 2018, having a date inside the title, especially for affiliate products, is extremely, extremely good. The only thing is you need to remember to update it. But having a date usually increases click-through rate, which increases your rankings, increases trust inside your website and on your webpage. Okay, so we've done enough titles. Let's start getting into the actual article. When I land here, the first thing, the best gaming headset. So an H1 that is, okay, whatever. It's fine. It's not going to make anything, not going to win any awards, but it is perfectly fine. And here's where the crap starts. Now, the Wirecutter uses templates and obnoxious templates. This is all because this starts off here. Here's the story: is that Google wants their articles to be written by trusted people. So the head of staff at the Wirecutter said, okay, well, we need to make sure that people trust us. So they start every single article with a template, which is obvious because they're always repeating the same thing over and over within all their articles, where they start boasting about how many hours they spent testing and what their credentials are. And basically, the articles, instead of starting about the gaming headsets, they're talking about themselves. So after a combined 160 hours of testing over almost 2 years, we've listened to 12 models this year, and we think the HyperX is the best gaming headset for most people. So selling. And then, so essentially, they have this little thing where it's like, okay, cool, 160 hours, we're doing this, and it's always the same boilerplate template where they're like, oh, we're tested X amount of hours, we're pros because we did this, and we recommend this. Always the same thing over and over again. And instead of telling me that you spent 160 hours testing, which is fine, that's perfectly fine, I'd rather you show it to me, because I actually don't believe that this Dennis Berger has spent 160 hours. He might have. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I don't necessarily believe it off the bat because you wrote it here. Instead, what would convince me within 1 millisecond that Dennis Berger spent over 160 hours listening to 12 new models in 1 second would be a picture. If I had Dennis Berger, if this picture at the top was Dennis right here, Dennis, my man, spending with 12 headsets on a table, 12 different headsets, Dennis standing behind it with a winner or something, then I would believe it 100%. And you wouldn't have to write that he spent 160 hours. You wouldn't have to write that he spent 12, that he tested 12 models. The reason, when you write it, it sounds like a guy that says, hey, I'm a really good guy. I'm really good. I'm awesome. You just believe me. Believe me, I'm really good. When you say things about yourself like that, people don't believe it. But if you show it, if you just show up and you're surrounded by good people, you dress well, you move properly, move confidently, instead of saying it, people will just see like, oh, it seems like, I just get the feeling that's a decent person. Same thing with the article. So what the Wirecutter needs is not more SEO. They need copywriters that understand human psychology and how people will respond to what they write and what they put on the page. So getting back to it, it starts off with 160 hours. This is our recommendation. What I do like from another SEO perspective and a conversion perspective, they have the last updated date. This is really good. If you're doing any affiliate stuff, include last updated. It's going to increase your conversions and people are going to trust a lot more. Then as I scroll, wait a second. Why? Okay. What is this? Look, there's random social media icons. Why? Why would you have random social media icons right here? What does this do? Like, is this a share? Is this to go to your official page? It seems, I'm looking at the URL at the bottom. It seems like it's to share, but this is like the web design team coming in and putting like social elements and then forgetting to remove them. And people are and they're gray on top of that. So they basically have just like random icons here. So weird. Okay. Then they have their pick. So their pick, because they're all about selling. So their first pick, I like that it's highlighted. Don't get me wrong. This is good. one option, make it really easy, bring people down. And then here from Amazon. But this looks like an ad. This looks like an advertisement. And once again, I don't believe that you're genuinely recommending things. I believe that you're just trying to sell me stuff, and this looks like an ad right here. It says our pick. It doesn't say number one. It doesn't say you're better. What I expect to find when I'm looking for a comparison article is typically a chart or a ranking or something, some sort of stats, even car reviews where they're reviewing cars. They usually have numbers. They're saying, oh, this one was 8 out of 9 on this category, 12 out of 9 on this category. They have some sort of like a breakdown of why they're recommending things. Instead, here what we're getting is your credentials. We recommend this, and then here is going to be, all right, this looks like an ad. Click here to buy it. Yay! All right, and here we have the runner-up. I'm scrolling through, and then here we have an upgraded pick, and then here we have a budget pick. See, there's no comparison right here. It's just like, oh, buy this. Oh, no, buy this. I'll buy this. Also great. You know what this reminds me? This isn't you telling me what the best is. This actually reminds me of when you walk into a restaurant and you're talking to a waiter. You're like, okay, well, what's really good here? He's like, well, the steak is good. Oh, well, the chicken's good. Oh, but the pasta's good as well. You're like, okay, what should I eat? What's the best here? What are your specialties, right? And they're like, well, our dessert's good too. And everything is good here. So this essentially feels like the everything is good. They just want you to buy. Just buy. Anything you buy is good with us. Just buy. So I don't trust this page one little bit. They're not reviewing anything. They're just essentially telling me to buy. And all of these things look like ads. So how do you fix this? Well, you would fix this by having a chart, having a comparison, having like maybe a chart with sound quality for starters, because it's headphones, and then having a breakdown of like how they rate in terms of sound quality. Maybe this one is an 8 out of 10 in terms of sound quality. Maybe this one's a 6. That would actually be a review. This is just a cheap affiliates review selling me stuff. This is essentially what people hate about affiliate reviews is when they just try to sell. And this is essentially reeking of that. So as I scroll through, then we get to a box. This is a break. All right, here's an opt-in box. Now, I'm not against opt-ins. I like opt-ins. You want to collect emails from people. But this whole thing essentially makes you feel as if this is the end of the page. This is it. So keep up with everything. From the Wirecutter, horrible, like this is very, very weak. Just keep up with us. Enter your email to keep up. As if it's like an afterthought. All right, just put your email. There's no real motivation. Like here we're in a gaming headset. One thing would be like, hey, would you like to win the best gaming headset? Enter your email here. We have a draw every single month, right? That would encourage me to like put my email there. Or hey, do you want to know the secrets or something like what are the top 10 upcoming headsets that you're going to want to know about? Like, give me something that's relevant and give me something that's pertinent. All right, we're going to continue this. And essentially, the way they put this here is as if they want to stop the readers from going down. This really did. They're like, okay, we care about this part. We want you to read this, and that's it. So read this, click on this, and go make us money. From their point of view, I kind of understand, but it's not, as a user, as a reader, I don't actually trust it. Then we get into research, and this is actually a table of content. So this is actually where the content would really start. And there's, once again, this is pretty bad. It's like this, why? First of all, it's all black, so you don't know this is a table of content. It doesn't look like you could click on any of it until you highlight it. So if you want to make a real table of content that's really useful, you would want for it to be blue and underlined, so people know, hey, this is a table of content. Look at Wikipedia. This is good and this is bad. I'll tell you what's the good. I'll tell you what's the bad. Having a table of content on your page is good for Google. Usually it's good for users as well, but in this case it's not. The reason it's not good for users is because it's hidden at the bottom or in the middle. It's all in black and it doesn't really look like you could click on it, and all the subheadlines are actually generic and they're crappy. It's good for Google because when you have a table of content, the Google bot is not going to care if it's in the middle, top, or wherever. It's going to pick it up. And what it does is it's going to give you nice little listings so people within the Google search result. So it'll increase your click-through rate because people are going to see our pick hyperlinked underneath your title in the Google search results. So this is a really good thing for Google. Typically, it's also really good for your users because you put it at the top so they could use it and navigate. But these guys are using it more just to have a table of content because it's a good on-page factor. So I don't know how you feel about that. Good and also bad. Now, what's really horrible is look at it. Look at the subheadlines. Why you should trust us? Why? Who should get this? How we picked? What we tested? Our pick? Flaws but not deal breakers. All of these subheadlines are generic. First of all, what I really hate is that this is boilerplate template. If you look at almost all the articles on the Wirecutter, it's the same thing. They always start with like why you should trust us, who should get this, how we picked, what we tested. Template, template, template. It's essentially like an affiliate marketing factory just putting out these templates and filling out the blanks. That's not high quality material. This is not high quality stuff. This is template stuff that people are filling out to rank and make money on Google or make money through affiliate. So what I understand why they're doing it because they're a company and they're like, let's get a template that's going to go over, that's going to work. But the template should be smart. What we want as users is high quality content. We want high quality articles and we want real reviews. So what the subheadlines should reflect that. Instead, the subheadlines should have words that are related to the headsets and to the category. So it shouldn't be why you should trust us. Instead, it should be like which headphones had the best sound quality, which ones had the best microphone, the best gaming performance, and so forth, like ease of use. You want to have subheadlines that reflect the topic that you're talking about. So don't get generic subheadlines. You want to have relevant subheadlines. This has two factors. First of all, it'll help you rank in Google because Google looks at the words on the page, it looks at the title, it looks at the images, but it also looks at the subheadlines. When you have relevant subheadlines, Google's going to rank you much higher than if you just have this generic subheadlines like this. So they're actually hurting themselves because of all their generic subheadlines. They're not conveying all the relevance to their on-page suffers. They don't rank as well. Okay, said enough about that. Let's go through who should get this, how we picked. All right. Now, here's one thing I do want to mention. Let's go back. I've actually gone through and like why you should trust us, and I've looked up, not this person, but in the past I've looked up like the credentials of one of those people, and the credentials of that person that wrote the article was legitimate. Like they were actually qualified to do the review that they did. It was really good. However, because they were saying, I'm great, I do this, I spent this amount of hours, I just disbelieved it. I didn't believe it. Even though they had the credentials, because of the way it was presented, because it was the way it was written, and the way they were like, oh, we're doing this, I didn't believe it. I would have just preferred to see them actually do it. Show it, don't say it. Show it, don't say it. That's really going to be the main thing. Even here, as I'm going through these pictures, all these pictures are isolated. They could be stock photography. This doesn't look legitimate to me. It's just one random picture of the Kingston HyperX Cloud. If you had all the headphones on a table, I would believe you a lot more. If you had the headphones being held by maybe the author or the writer, I would expect it. I would believe it a lot more. Maybe him wearing the headphones. This just looks like a cheap affiliate article put together, and it is long, very long. This is actually a little too long. And I'm suspecting that the reason this is super long right here, holy crap, is it long, is because they're just trying to rank for as many keywords as possible. Even here, look, they're just listing headsets. They're like, this headset, this headset, this headset. Holy shit. They're just listing headsets because they want to rank for them and maybe get the affiliate click, right? Not a very good article. Instead, it is just their main sell, buy, and then a bunch of words on every single headset in existence, apparently. I do like the sources. They're doing this. I got to give them credit where credit's due. The fact that they have sources here is good. Do they quote themselves? They literally quote themselves. Sources, us. Thank you. Like, I understand you could have an internal link. I'm not against internal links. In fact, I think it's really good, but I think it's very funny that in terms of sources, you quote the Wirecutter when you're the Wirecutter, right? Yeah. And then you have discuss commenting at the bottom. That's great. That's good. Okay. So the page itself, it's not well designed for humans. I want to see a chart. I want to see something that actually makes me believe that you are qualified and you actually reviewed. Every single image I see right here is just stock imagery. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you're doing affiliate, you always want to make sure that your images are named the file name of whatever you're going for, and they're doing it really well. So here it's called gaming headset something something.jpg. That's really good. That tells Google, and the alt text is the best gaming headsets. This tells Google that, hey, you're about gaming headsets, and you have pictures of gaming headsets, you have content about gaming headsets. This is good. Overall, I don't trust this article. What I would do as the Wirecutter is I would get a copywriter, someone who understands human psychology, who understands selling, who understands why people will buy and why people will trust you, and then help get them to help you put a template together. And then make sure that template doesn't look like a template. Make sure that the template is not the exact same subheadlines across almost all the board, and they're not generic, because that's going to help you. So get SEO experts, which I'm sure you already have, but get SEO experts to work with your copywriters, and that will make you a better website, and people will trust your content more. Because I assume that some of these people are actually really qualified to write about it. It's just the way it's presented. I don't believe it. Okay, now the last and final thing, I'm going to look at their links. So let's take a look at here. And let's break down the links. So I'm using Ahref, which looks at the backlinks of the sites. And if you are new to this, the reason we want to look at the backlinks is because backlinks will make you rank. So why it appears up and high in Google is typically because of the backlinks, not because of their pretty face. So we have Ahref. I'm looking at the best gaming headset backlinks. All right, we have Engadget, reached by Art Technica, Creative, Engadget. Holy crap. Well, this is, now I know why it's a New York Times company, right? So they are using their weight. This is almost unfair. Let me tell you why. Because Engadget doesn't typically link to other websites, especially not affiliate websites, but because they are the Wirecutter and they're a New York Times company, they probably have a deal with them. So let's open this one up. Let's go take a look at the link, see what's happening there. They even have Forbes. Let's take a look at Forbes. Cool. Forbes. They have some really powerful backlinks. So what I look for in backlinks, just so you know, is I'm looking, hey, is this a site that wrote a real article with a real recommendation, and are people going to be clicking on this link to go to that site? If the answer is yes, if like it's a real recommendation, people are going to be clicking on it, that's an excellent backlink. If it is and you also want to look at the number here, which is the strength of the backlink, so the URLs, how powerful that page is. And the best is if you actually recognize the website, then typically that's a pretty good backlink. Okay, so the Wirecutter right here. What? This is... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The Wirecutter has its own section on Engadget. As far as I know, New York Times does not own Engadget, but they have their own damn section on their website. So they have their own section. That's like cheating almost. Like, yeah, okay, cool. We're just gonna have our own section. Of course we're gonna give ourselves some links. This post was done in partnership with the Wirecutter. This is essentially giving yourself links, or like buying links, buying affiliate links back to the site. So this post was done in partnership with the Wirecutter. All right. Well, it's nice to have high up friends, right? This is borderline cheating in terms. I mean, good on them. I would do the same thing. If I was in their position, I'd do the exact same thing. This is great. Keep on doing it. The Wirecutter. But to everyone else, this is essentially, yeah, you're like, hey, friend, that is a giant company. Let me just get a link from this. So now let's look at Forbes. This post was done. Are you kidding me? What the hell? Okay, look. Can you? Okay, serious talk. Look at this. This post was done in partnership. Let me make it bigger. It's not getting bigger. In partnership with the Wirecutter, the best guide for technology. So essentially, they are doing this in partnership with everyone else. Partnership with Forbes. So Forbes is in with it. Engadget's in with it. I'm guessing Art Technica is also in with it. I don't know. They're essentially just buying websites out and buying the links back from them. So they're doing partnership. Partnership probably means some sort of money. So they're essentially buying links, maybe not directly, but in partnership, whatever that means, with the Wirecutter, right? So there is a partnership, and these are all do follow links back to their website. So no wonder they're going to rank. They're using literally some of the biggest tech websites in the world, and they are getting links back from them, but not in a normal like editorial like, hey, this journalist is going to write about you because you have a good article. No, this is like, hey, we're doing this in partnership. We have some sort of agreement, and we're going to write about this page. And then on top of that, look, even the way they're linking our guide to the best gaming headsets, gaming headset recommendations. Let's go through the link. Yeah, best gaming headsets. So this is obviously manufactured, obviously manipulated. And when Google says, hey, don't buy links, this is maybe not buying links. Maybe they're not out saying, hey, we bought this links, but they're saying it's in partnership, which implies there's some sort of agreement where they are linking with do follow links back to websites. And that's crazy. So that's essentially having kind of like a monopoly in terms of links here. That'll explain you why it'll rank. Okay, one thing that's good. I want to highlight the good. I want to paint a full picture. They have links from Creative. So Creative is a company that makes headsets, and that's a really good link if you're doing affiliate reviews. You can contact companies that are doing that. If you give a positive review to a company, you contact that company, and sometimes that company will list that headset with a link back to the page, because the company that made the headset says, hey, we got a positive review there, let's link to it. So it helps them, helps you, everyone wins. So that's a good link. This is something I would say is a good link. But the Forbes, that's crazy. Forbes and Gadget, they're all in bed together, right? So essentially, if you are competing with these guys, so for the Wirecutter, keep on doing what you're doing. It's awesome. If you want to compete with the Wirecutter and you want to beat them, this is going to show you two things. First of all, is the Wirecutter isn't doing anything crazy in terms of SEO. They're almost cheating at SEO. They aren't, but almost. It's borderline, because they're essentially getting major websites, major partner websites where normal people wouldn't be able to get links from. They are essentially linking to themselves, right? They're getting in partnership. They're talking. There's a meeting said, hey, Forbes, why don't you just start link to us? Forbes wrote an article called the best gaming headsets, and they link to the Wirecutter. That's pushing it. Let's put it that way. That is what I would consider kind of a monopoly in terms of links. You get all the biggest websites in the world to link to each other. Of course, you're going to rank. So what do you do if you want to compete with that? Well, there's two things. First of all, this proves, well, maybe not proves, but I will tell you that one of the best ways to rank is getting a handful of high quality editorial links on major websites. So having these links from Engadget, Ars Technica, Forbes is really powering up this page. Get a handful of them. They have maybe 4 here, 4 or 5, and this will power up your webpage. You're going to rank amazingly well. So if you are trying to beat these guys, here's how you go about it. Get yourself on major newspapers. Get yourself recommendations from major outlets in the tech industry, in the news industry, and you're going to start doing really well. If you spend, let's say you go to Guardian, you talk to a journalist, and you spend $2,000 on a story that is going to link to you, right? So $2,000, and let's say you get 6 of them, you're probably going to outrank. I think they have 4. Yeah, they have 4, like 3 or 4 major websites linking to them with editorial stories. If you get 6, so 2,000 times 6 is going to be $12,000 in terms of major stories from around the web. So you get major websites, like the biggest ones. You either pay the staff, you get a meeting with the staff, you pay the journalist, you pay whoever, you get you get a partnership agreement with them. You're going to be able to get yourself 6 strong links, and you just need to get more stronger backlinks than these guys, and then you're going to be able to compete with them in the search engines. You're going to be able to compete with them in terms of rankings, because they only seem to have 4 for this page, and their on-page SEO isn't that great. That's another advantage you have as an affiliate is, where was the original one? Their on-page SEO, it's okay, but it's really nothing special. In terms of conversions, I don't even trust it that much. because there's no, all the elements I look for are not there. Even though they're kind of bragging about the how many hours they tested it, I don't actually believe it. Even though they might be completely accurate, I don't know. So the on page isn't that great, but it's not horrible. So if you're an expert SEO or you're following one of my traffic research templates, you could definitely beat it and get better SEO that is more optimized for Google. We covered about, the text, the content, the conversions, even a title could be improved. Everything could be improved to that next level. In terms of getting backlinks, all you need to do is get yourself at least 6 backlinks from major websites. And that, like major stories, so real news stories. So maybe get something on Fox News, get something on The Guardian, get something on one of these tech companies. Maybe CNET could write about you. Get yourself, even though CNET also does affiliate stuff, you need to get yourself more than what they have in terms of major websites. So you'll notice they're powered up by major website articles, and it's working really well for them. That is the key. If there's one takeaway you get from this whole thingamajig, this whole review, is that getting ranked in major articles on websites is going to help you rank and get you a hell of a lot of traffic, hell of a lot of value. 4.2 million visitors. Here is estimating for 3.6. I don't know. It's an increasing number as well. So I hope you've learned a lot. Hope you've uncovered the good, the bad, and you've had a fun time looking at the world's largest, I believe it's the world's largest affiliate websites. My name's Eric Lanches. Hit that subscribe button, comment below if you like this, and tell me what you think about the Wirecutter, and if what they're doing is legitimate, if it's bending the rules a bit, if they have a monopoly, if Google should step in and do something about it. As always, my name's Eric Lanches, and I will talk to you soon.